So guys, today we are going to put F-15 against F-15. We did an F-15I and E versus F-15C dogfight video here. Me and my friend got some rules and we did a little bit of a dogfight with some F-15, right? Already said F-15s way too many times, but yeah guys, we tested a little bit of how you should actually expect or what you should expect from flying these heavier F-15s, right? First of all, we flew the F-15I and against an F-15C MSIP 2. We had one rule, which is no shooting head-on early on. We did revoke that rule later on just to test some other things like against Su-27s and stuff, but that will come in a second video. To just make sure that the dogfight is not really relying on luck of hitting a shot or even just a head-on ability, we just wanted to properly test the amount of turn, the amount of energy that the aircraft have, and head-ons would kind of being that way. But you will notice something over here, guys. We're gonna start commenting these dogfights, and you will see that the F-15I is remarkably close to the F-15C in many instances on the regards of how much it can actually turn. The majority of the kills that I had or he had on me were due to me or him doing mistakes. So not due to the aircraft. It wasn't like a clear victory because the aircraft started to lose and stuff. It was more because I did a mistake, I overshot him, I wasn't maintaining my energy well enough, or he did that as well, and we got killed both times doing that. And it's kind of funny how close the F-15C MSIP2 and the F-15I, remember I'm talking about the I variant, the Israeli Ram, whatever it's the pronunciation, against each other, not the E, right? We're gonna talk about the E, but the E is something else, guys. But something that I notice is clearly something that you should expect, okay? The first thing is that the power to weight of the F-15I kind of carries these aircraft to be able to control the engagement a little bit more when you are in low air speeds and when you need to go in a vertical situations. You can control the energy better because when you accelerate, you can accelerate. When you want to slow down, you can slow down, and it's kind of that ability that makes it up for it. But the F-15C has the ability of just being better on the terms of overall turn sometimes. Just that eventually, if you stay alive, the eye will have energy enough or engine enough to, you know, get the kill. So for example here, I kind of overshot the dogfight a little bit, and it was my mistake that he got in my 6. It wasn't like the F-15I just wasn't good enough. It's just that I maintained the engine while he used controlled more his energy, and I overshot and I got killed because of it. So it's more of a player error here than anything else. You will see how close this thing. It was like one time I killed him, one time I didn't kill him, I got killed, you know, and so on and so on. It's kind of funny how close both these aircraft are, right? And yeah, here I gotta say this was very dangerous. But again, like I said, in like early stages of a dogfight, the F-15C will have the advantage. But eventually you can get it, or you can get a lucky shot on a mistake of the enemy like I did there, right? So again, mistake that he did, kind of the same mistake that I did before, I got him killed, right? So yeah, it's very, very interesting how close these aircraft are, really are. So here we go, trying to make the other overshoot, and I managed to him overshoot. If it was an R-73, he would have been dead, but it's an A9M. These missiles are better in the long range than in the dogfighting capability, so I missed that. Of course, we were using the same payload for missiles IR in a simulation of just before or just after a BVR fight, right? And here you can see clearly who has the better energy capability of just maintaining the good speed on the climb, right? Of course, if you're not careful, you can die very easily because they are so close, again, by mistake and stuff. But at the end of the day, you have that advantage. So if I was an F-15C, I would try to get the F-15I as fast as I could, you know, in terms of trying to, in the first couple of turns, get the kill as fast as possible, even if I have to deplete all of the energy, whatever it takes. Because if you can't do that, if the F-15I starts to go vertical and stuff, yeah, it's problematic. Here, we both did a mistake and we crashed into the ocean, right? So it's still a heavy aircraft. You can feel it, and the differences between the F-15C and I are very, very slim on that regard, you know, just because of the power that the aircraft has. Of course, you will, like I said, turn a little bit worse overall, but it's a tiny bit amount, so tiny that the player ability and the control of the speed that the player has will make more of a difference than that difference itself, right? So at the end of the day, you still need to like have that in mind. The differences in turning is so marginal that eventually the F-15I will get the kill if you're not careful. So it's really, really good. And then we tested a little bit with the F-15E, and the differences are immense, boys. You know, the aircraft, it feels like the same in the first couple of turns. Then it becomes just a paperweight, basically. The aircraft, compared to the F-15C, just doesn't have the energy. You start to lose more energy than the F-15I, obviously, because you have less engine. So at the first turns, as you see, you can still maintain the same, more or less, energy and turn as the F-15C. Here, I kind of felt a little bit of the weight, you know. The aircraft just wasn't really turning as much as I could, and then I did the mistake. I was flying the same way as the F-15I, and this thing doesn't have the speed, so I basically just, you know, made me a very easy target because of that, because it just climbed, and it's just a very easy target because you don't have the energy of the eye, right? Again, here, start of the game, start of the match over here, very similar turn capability of the F-15C. The differences can be felt, as you see, but more or less they are normally due to the initial speed of your aircraft or the enemy's aircraft, right? Because the aircraft itself, the differences are margin. After the second turn, as you see, those differences start to become more and more apparent the more you have to turn, because you have extra weight, and with that you make yourself lose a little bit more energy, making these differences become larger and larger until the F-15C kills you. So the F-15E indeed is a lot worse than the F-15C in a dogfight, and the F-15I, even though it is heavier because of the extra engine, it is as good as the F-15C, you know, which is what was kind of expected. The only thing that wasn't really expected here is that the F-15E wouldn't receive this new engine, and the I would receive it, right? That's what people are complaining about. I mean, of course, the Israelis can only receive this engine, but you know, that's the controversy behind the F-15s right now. You can see that the F-15C can turn very well, and it can maintain the turn very well with me. So you kind of feel the difference of weight, but the thing is, if you play it correctly, you're gonna put yourself into a better position, because I honestly have to test it out, but I have a feeling that this aircraft might have a better thrust to weight than the F-15C in these situations. I will do a whole video about it in the War Thunder real-time information app, you know, using it and everything, to see how much thrust to weight, how much turn, these degrees of turn and stuff these aircraft can actually have. But at the end of the day, it's clear as water when you are flying both aircraft against the same one, you know. If you get the F-15I, you have a chance, you are in the same levels. It's only it's only about the pilot itself to make a mistake or do well, or you use your abilities, like for example using your control of the energy in a better state, like for example here. You know, I was kind of overshooting him, and I got him in surprise to make him overshoot me, even though I am, you know, an aircraft that has more power or less power. That's the thing, like, it's more weight, you know, because it's an aircraft that you can just control the speed a lot better and control the energy, right? So it's all due to, like, it all comes down to the pilot between F-15I and F-15C. He really is like that. between the F-15C and E, as I was saying, it's not about that. It's about the aircraft. The aircraft itself, you can feel the difference about the engine power. In the first couple of turns, you gotta make sure you kill the target. If not, you are dead. And if you are losing to an F-15C MSIP 2, I will guarantee to you, because there are videos coming up about it as well, that you would I mean, you're gonna lose against a flanker. You're gonna lose against an F-16. Maybe you can win against a MiG-29, but even then, it's problematic. Okay, guys. So be aware of that fact of the F-15E. While the F-15I can be used as a very, very good dogfighter, together as a very good BVR weapon because of the acceleration that he has and the missiles and radar, together with being an amazing air-to-ground, or basically a super fighter in the Israeli Tech Tree that can do everything, the F-15E is more or less worse to do basically everything beyond the air-to-ground compared to the F-15C in the US Tech Tree. But again, this was expected. I just wanted to point that out with these tests that we did. Okay, guys? So indeed, the F-15I is an incredible aircraft. It really is. Of course, with the F-15E receiving an engine like this, it would make things a lot more balanced between the two aircraft, and it would be basically the same. You can expect the same from the E with the better engine, if it's ever added, or if it's upgraded with the version that we have in the game, etc. Right? So really impressed by the F-15I, because it kind of becomes the best multi-role aircraft you can have in the game. Although you might lose in some dogfights against some aircraft, you can win against a lot of them. It might not be the best aircraft out there, but it will be one of the best. Like top 5 for sure, maybe top 3, maybe top 2 of being the best aircraft if used correctly, of how good and do everything ability that this aircraft has. Okay, guys? But yeah, guys, here we are wrapping up sorry, the last dogfight, and yeah, you can see that we have just a very similar turning pattern over here, and nobody can get onto each other's sixes, you know, to get the shot on. So it's an aircraft that it's very funny that it's so heavy. It's like 3 tons more than the F-15C, but because of the extra engine, you kind of become the same thing. It's kind of funny. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe. Leave a like, leave a comment, and I see you guys on the next one. Okay, guys? This was the last kill that I just did a mistake, and yeah. Bye, guys. See you on the next one.